Journey of Serenity, choreographed by Mira Gokshal, performed by Alexis Bucci and Josie Levy.
Alexis and Josie lay calmly on their side. Slowly waking up one after the other from right to left, coming to sitting with their feet flat, knees up, and leaning back into their hands, facing the upstage corner, anticipating the start of their day. As a unit, they sway right and left gently and in a sleepy manner, all the way around, ending their last sway with a roll onto their stomach and back up to rest to the opposite corner. They wake up by unfurling and flipping over to carefully build their way to standing. They stand facing the downstage corner, prepping, breathing, coming to their senses. Their right arm floats up softly in the shape of a beach ball, followed by the left to form a full circle above their head. Similarly to their initial sways, they sway right, left, and all the way around, followed by a reverse of the full sequence of motions. Josie and Alexis sway like the waves of the beach. As they sway, they imagine the crashing yet nostalgically soft sounds of the beach waves hitting the shore. In an energetic contrast, their elbows close in front of their body, followed by a freeing opening of the chest and arms to the back. They repeat this movement as a unit, pushing further into an arch and releasing their arms back for a second time. By this point, the duo is awake and acknowledges one another by repeating the arm motions from before, now exploring and locomoting throughout the space. Their awareness of each other and surroundings is soft, tender, and caring. They face one another, they arch back, and Alexis crouches down to sit and watch Josie's movement to follow. Josie spins away from Alexis, her arms swing through forward, and she preps for a turn. A powerful turn with her arms and legs swiveling around is buttoned energetically with a strong and confident balance. She runs and gathers her belongings, prepping for the day ahead. She does a final yawn, expanding her upper body back to circle in with 2 steps into another confident balance. She dramatically falls and creates space for Alexis to have their moment. Alexis climbs off the ground, pushing back into the space. They blossom front, close in, blossom back, and close in. Their leg floats behind them with longing, full of air and expansiveness. Their feet meet and their chest opens to the sky. Alexis rushes forward, cultivating the space and returning back. She gallops to the left side of the stage, exploding with a powerful turn jump and landing right into a head roll all the way around. Josie has built herself up to standing, facing into the center, ready to meet Alexis. They powerfully approach one another and circle twice to flow away from one another. They jump, throw, and flow in relation to one another. The intensity grows as they circle, freeze, melt, with and against each other to then grow and deflate synchronously. As Josie deflates all the way down, Alexis rushes towards Josie and offers a hand to help her off the ground. Josie slightly lingers away, then meets them face to face, holding hands with Alexis. A moment to breathe and embrace playfulness arises as they counterbalance and turn one another. Alexis and Josie are now almost ready to start their trip to the beach. But little do they know the tumultuous tasks of commuting to their moment of serenity. There's a shift in the energy, almost as the duo has entered a high-intensity situation. After waiting in the blistering sun, they've gotten on the first bustling train of their route to the beach. The movement is strong and intense as they fall forward and back, being pushed around by others around them. They shuffle and fall to run to their next train, jumping and opening up their chests to create room for themselves in a crowded and human area. They inevitably have to repeat this process again, a cycle that's tiring but necessary. Alexis has lost sight of Josie. They search looking from side to side. They decide to calm down and take a breath. Her mind wanders and Alexis starts thinking about how the day has just started, yet they are so tired. The beach has always been a place of calm for them, but as they've gotten older, the act of taking time to visit a free and hopefully accessible space has become almost a dream. Josie returns with a similar panic to Alexis. They both wallow but try to support one another as well as possible through their pain and discomfort. Creating a mirror for each other, they process their emotions together. With the help of one another, the dancers stay facing in and attempt the final push to arrive at the final step of their trip to serenity. Their arms fold in, a beach ball forms over their head, and they fall to their left. They fly, collapse, and can finally celebrate. They can take a breath. They have reached their moment of serenity. Slowly, the dancers can embody the sounds of the water and melt their body into the sand. They move freely and embrace their surroundings, catching their breath and practicing their balance as they try not to fall over onto the hot-to-touch sand. It's hard yet exciting to try and understand how to be steady on such mysterious textures under your feet. They rest, build sand castles, and chase or get chased by the waves. The space is loud with the sound of nature and humans, but as comforting as it is familiar. Alexis rests as Josie goes to explore. In the center of the room, Josie explodes into a jump to the left, followed by a powerful punch down in the opposite direction, rolling up slowly vertebrae by vertebrae to fall into an excited run around the stage. Josie feels free and supported by her surroundings. She has learnt the joy of taking time to enjoy the beauty of the world. There's an air of comfort and gratitude behind her movements. Meeting Alexis on the floor, Josie sits down, gently resting her head on Alexis's shoulder. They roll, shake, and come to embrace stillness. Coming to a resting spot together, Josie and Alexis lay on their backs with their knees pointing to the sky and arms spread to the side. Josie and Alexis have experienced a full day of action, a day of preparation, planning, packing, and anticipation, followed by a push, a sweat, and a grind to achieve a moment of serenity. They alternate to stand, turn, and stretch their bodies after a long day, unloading from their journey. They join hands, sway side to side, and circle their necks before coming to an embrace, thanking one another for their support throughout the trip.
Ebb and Flow, choreographed by Claire Lane, performed by Itzel Herrera Garcia and Aiden Marshall.
Aiden and Itzel stand side by side as if submerged waist-deep in water. Serpentine torsos sway as if carried by a gentle tide while fingertips skim the water's surface. They've come to the beach to benefit from the healing properties of salt water. Nearing each other, they circle one leg around. Arms ripple towards the earth, then float skywards. Right fingertips trailing water droplets down the left arm and spiraling to unfurl. Dancers undulate their spines like waves, once, twice, 3 times. Right leg circles in the sand, once, twice, 3 times. Big toe splashes the water and arms extend wide from the chest. Itzel trails her hand down Aiden's arms. Legs ripple front and back, finding a soothing ebb and flow that matches the shushing lullaby of the waves. The dancers are at peace. One by one, Itzel and Aiden break free and rock side to side like boats. Kneeling, they circle arms in front of them, captivated by the rhythm of the water. Achy and inflamed joints rejoice in the cooling sensation in contrast to the blazing heat of the sun. The dancers roll on their backs to stand. Souls replenished, dancers toss their right arm above the water's edge to face each other. Knees bend and right elbow circles into the center, bodies curving down. Dancers tread through the hands and feet. Their right leg swoops around into a deep lunge. Arms curve outward from the chest across the horizon. Back arm smooths down the front arm, feeling the water sparkle on their skin. Fingers dive down and well up, cresting and falling. As the tide comes in, the wave intensifies. Leaning forward, dancers draw 3 cleansing circles. They jump and toss the right leg, spiral the left leg and suspend in an arch, jumping and splashing the water with their left palm. Fingertips quiver as they rise upwards, frothing like sea foam gathering at the shoreline. Dancers smack the hand down and tumble backwards, kicking the right leg, then falling to the floor as if swept up in a storm. Laying on their backs, their arms and legs crash to and fro as if tossed about by the roaring waves. A storm is coming in, and the wild current sweeps up everything in its path, leaving polluted debris and waste in its wake. The water, once calm and clear, is murky and muddled. The dancers collapse in exhaustion and roll to their backs. Their right elbow saws, and the hands grasp together a lifeline. Rolling to their bellies, they swim the left arm overhead and slide to their knees. Body roll to stand and breaststroke the arms wide open, trying to clear away contaminated waters. Fingertips raise skyward, left hand sweeping across the chest, and dancers swan dive under their arms in an arabesque. Aiden catches Itzel as she falls backwards and pushes her to her feet. Dancers' elbows and head knock backwards twice. Spinning to their left, the arms gather together to touch the sternum and explode in a wide plie. Dancers' hands gather at the right hip and they spiral to roll on their backs. They push to a plank, making it to shallow waters. Left leg swings over and bring the dancers to a lunge. Water trickles down their torsos as they ripple to stand and elbows arc globe-like. They wipe the right palm in a zigzag motion. The right fist curls closed as if grasping around an invisible rope that tugs them further ashore and away from the harmful bacteria. Aiden's arms ripple forward, right then left. Elbows pull back and fingertips curl upwards. He brings his arms together, supplicating. Left fingertips trace down the right arm to the heart, inspecting the skin for signs of infections. Itzel's right fingers curl into a fist, palm reaching out towards the side. Hands gather together and explode upward, a jolt of anxiety moving through her. Her body undulates front to back, working through her unease. Itzel and Aiden join in unison, unfurling their arms horizontally from the heart. They repeat their gestures. They come to the beach hoping to lighten their loads, the waters restoring their bodies and souls. Instead, they are denied access to the sacred life force due to human-caused harm, pollution and sewage from stormwater runoff seeping to the oceans. Elbows wide, Aiden and Itzel step backwards, swaying their bodies like sails caught in the breeze. They kneel, praying for safety. Left leg swings front to back and they slide forward, rolling to their knees. Head circles twice, and they find their backs, laying prone in the sand. Reaching up to the sky, they pedal through the feet, legs undulating like coastal seagrasses. The dancers yearn for the serene and restorative ebb and flow of pristine waters on their skin. They arch their backs to sit up and backbend, radiating their left hand from the chest towards the sun. Flipping over, they thread through the left leg to face the back. Heads pour over the left shoulder, reaching the right hand on a diagonal. They arc up and over to the left side, spilling to their bellies. The right hand pulls them upward to stand. Hope swells as they begin to feel the purifying force of the sun. With close monitoring and the filtrating effect of UV rays, the water will be safe to swim in once again. One by one, the dancers pitch turn around the corner, pirouetting to the right diagonal and flinging their arms overhead like a tidal wave. They feel the tightness in their chests loosen with the receding tide. Tentatively, the dancers press their palms outward and curl their fingers in, testing the waters. They cup their palms and pour water over their hair. They return to joy and play as they splash the water over their hands, bodies arcing up and over like dolphins. They swivel serpentine spines forward and circle their arms, kicking out the left leg and stepping to lunge. Fingertips return to heart. They map a line from the belly button down the right leg, no longer inspecting for disease, but feeling the suppleness of cleansed skin. The dancers swing the left arm overhead like a freestyle stroke, and Aiden touches Itzel's shoulders. They ripple the arms softly forward like wind skimming the waves and pull the elbows back. Releasing tension, they curl their torsos forward and tread backwards, circling each other. Back in the shallow waters where the waves tumble to shore, Aiden and Itzel circle their leg 3 times. Big toe splashes the water and arms expand across the horizon. They rock rhythmically side to side like boats and kneel, arms floating and swishing underwater. They roll on their backs to stand in a right leg passe, leaning sideways. They encircle each other, embracing tightly as they spiral like a whirlpool. They brush their hands down their bodies, chasing away the trickle of salty water droplets, basking in gratitude for the transformative refuge that the ocean can provide. Aiden and Itzel know that clean beaches are an important part of their quality of life. When polluted runoff and toxin inundate our seas, the cost is harm to human health, with immunocompromised folks most at risk. With proper monitoring and waste cleanup efforts, we can avoid beach closures that deny access to our most vulnerable communities. Everyone deserves to benefit from the healing ebb and flow of pristine waters.
Red Tide, choreographed by Dara Capley, performed by Amal Ledha and Katie Logan.
Amal and Katie stand tall and near one another, listening to the waves, smelling the sea, grateful for air free of toxins. Dancers suddenly bring an arm to a half circle in front of the chest, the other behind them like a fin. They swirl to a proud pose, foot twitches. They lengthen left leg away as they lean back, coming to a wide lunge facing front, hands trace collarbones. They pulse up by pushing down onto the earth. Standing on one leg, hand traces an awkwardly bent arm. Taking a big step forward, arms circles widely, spinning, hands wipe up bodies to make fists on forehead, then spread wide like an umbrella. Hands stab solar plexus, a reminder of the danger of polluted water, then circle lungs as dancers breathe deep, lifting one leg. Leg drops heavily, hands cover eyes like beauty concealing danger. Moving in a wave to the left, one leg lifts high. They sit facing away, one arm wipes sand, one arm flicks up and points at chests. They bask in the sun, resting on one elbow. Sitting up, right hand at back, left hand on head, both in fists. Spines wave side to side like eels swimming through treacherous algae-filled waters. Facing front with arms wide, hand flicks as opposite hand dives down to root. Arms cross, then open as they swirl to stand. Dancers stand on one leg, then spin to each other, taking a moment to breathe together. Dancers step on tiptoes, lightly touching as they rotate around each other. Swirling, then falling, they catch each other in a moment of mutual support. Tired of the fight for climate change to be believed. They push away, sending Amal from Katie, who stays in place. Amal swipes their arm, deeply bending to lunge with arms in a circle. Arms raise in a sharp, pulsing rhythm. They look up, then grip fists, pulling them apart as if the sky could be opened. Turning to face front with crossed wrists, hands grip the air, pulling down misinformation. Spinning, they throw arms to their sides. Hands dive into solar plexus, then pulse upward as Amal shifts backward. Standing tall, hands trace lungs. They turn to face back, left hand on head, spine swimming. Moving backwards, left hand tosses up and down, manifesting their climate anxiety. Seeing the tossing hand, Amal swirls back to Katie, once again seeking mutual support. Dancers lean in, then push away. This time, Amal remains planted. Katie bends, peeking under Amal's outstretched arm, then turns, falling to the floor, grabbing sand as she stands. Arm circles, fist comes to throat. Opposite hand traces forearm, then stretches long to the right. She steps on tiptoes, hands holding the sky, feeling the majesty of the ocean. Hands wipe torso as she sinks, then spreads wide on one leg. Hands stab solar plexus, then trace lungs as she turns, then repeats. She lunges, peeking at the audience asking, "Are you paying attention?" Then spins to face front, one hand in a fist, opposite fingertips trace collarbone. Katie swirls back to Amal like a gust of wind picking up sand. Dancers again lean towards each other and then push away to face front. Arms bent at awkward angles, they jaggedly shift lower. They lean to the right, arms stretched long above heads. Hands wipe sand off from heads and sides of bodies, then reach wide as they squat. Wrapping arms around torso, they quickly rise on one leg. They fold forward in a precarious dive. Arms make a circle overhead as they bend forward. Rising, left fingertip traces a wave, right hand meets left in front of faces. Hands bloom wide before quickly gripping above heads. Body waves, then while rotating, dancers grab with their hands, searching for truth. One hand on chests, dancers fling opposite arm up and right leg to the left, then spin and step backwards, bending over and reaching forward. Turning profile, they mind looking in a mirror and stroke hair. Hands float up with legs wide, briefly looking like a starfish. Dancers wrap arms around torso twice, then spin to face front. Arms in one leg, flick out from center. Hands slowly circle as they lower. Dancers shudder at the memory of beaches lined with dead fish. They splay right hand before spinning on one leg. Shoulders circle with a deep breath. Hands wave from left to right before gripping wrists and sharply dropping. They pull an imaginary rope taut above heads, then left hand circles as they sink. Backing up, one hand circles head. Facing diagonally front, hands feel a wall of willful ignorance in their way. Limbs fling outward, then facing back, spines wiggle, settling into fight. Hand shakes frantically next to right ear. Left hand catches it and silences misinformation. They step right, then hand flicks away to grab clean air, adding their own breath. Quickly placing right-handed back, left on heads, both in fists, spines swim. Dancers face front, arms at jagged angles. Left hand dives down as right leg rises. Dancers circle each other, recognizing their ability to see and support each other, and remember that they are each other's environment, just as the sand and the sky and the sea are. Dancers then move in a slow swirl as they spin, rebound, and push to one leg as hand sweeps face, reminiscent of a mermaid. Speeding up, they live in this swirling pattern for 5 repetitions, moving in a wide circle across the stage, just out of sync, like rippling waves. Amal breaks out of the swirl and swipes an arm as they travel across to the right, Katie following a second behind. In unison, they move to the left, swiping arms twice. Sharing hopes and fears, they merge their solos. Backing up, arms raise in a sharp, pulsing rhythm. They look up and open the sky. They dive and fall to the floor, grabbing sand as they stand. Arm circles, fist coming to throat, opposite hand tracing forearm, then stretching to the right. They spin and face front with crossed wrists. Left hand grips the air. Together, they pull down misinformation. They spin and throw arms to the sides, slowly backing up with arms wide. They gather power. They drop, then quickly rise, stepping on tiptoes with hands holding the sky, feeling the majesty of the ocean. Hands wipe torsos as they sink, then spread wide on one leg. Hands stab into solar plexus. They face front in the opening shape with the left arm in a half circle in front, spreading the other behind them like a fin. They feel the wind and let the fin behind them flutter like seaweed. Coming to a proud pose, foot twitches. They pull themselves tall. They lean left and lift one leg, then sit facing away as one arm wipes sand, one arm flicks up and points at chests. They bask in the sun, resting on one elbow, then lay fully down to rest. Katie abruptly sits up, looking at the audience, struck by fear that you are not also afraid. Amal gently pulls Katie back down. Amal then abruptly sits up and looks at the audience, asking, "You are listening, right?" Katie gently pulls Amal back down. Dancers lay in the sun, enjoying the community of the wind, the sand, the water, and each other, not knowing how to solve these life-threatening issues, but taking pleasure in the fact that at least for now, we can be here together.
Brava to the dancers, choreographers, musicians Simone Phillips, Christine Mello, Casey Kraft, and Stephen Ju, conductor Andrew Cho, and composer Robert Gross for their artistic contributions. Thank you to Save the Harbor and Boston Dance Alliance for their support.